Hello, folks. You haven't heard from me in a while. I've been very busy. However, I'd like to talk about the issue of discrimination today. About a year and a half ago, I went to the Ministry of Labour in Sam Sharp Square to report a situation that I discovered that was happening to young people who worked in Chinese stores in Montego Bay. Almost all of them, there were about four persons, young ladies that worked in what you might call like dress stores and places that sell uh, haberdashery stuff. And all of them were being paid below minimum wage and working longer than 40 hours a week. When I spoke to I actually went twice. When I spoke to the person in charge of the office, they indicated that they were aware of some issues, but they didn't have enough people to investigate all of the issues. And however, they assured me that they would take care of it. Now, the persons who had reported to me, they actually left those positions, went to work elsewhere. So I didn't pursue the case anymore. I hope that the people from the ministry will be doing their job. Now, there's another case that's probably even worse, not probably, worse. And this has to do with sexual discrimination, sexual harassment in the tourism sector. And this is no guess, this is no hearsay, right? I've been talking to a number of youngsters, again, females, young females, not necessarily from my village, but persons who have worked with me in the past. And quite a number of them are telling me that they are expected to give sexual favors or else they don't get to keep their job. Or if they do, they're put on the worst shifts and they're sent off on break regularly. There's one particular hotel group whose name comes up all the time. I'm not going to mention it here. I'm going to actually reach out to them and explain what I'm hearing. However, I'm using this medium to appeal to the Ministry of Labor to, number one, have a unit that goes around randomly and check on these places. And number two, set up like an emergency a hotline where people can call in and report incidents. The problem is, in the hotels, they're supposed to have a system where employees can report uh, atrocities. However, those departments, which are, I'm going to call them HR, Human Resources Department, seem either not to care or they're complicit. They may even be aware of what's going on, but the perpetrator, who might be let's say, a chef, a head chef, or some department head, bar manager, or whatever, might be their friend, so they just completely ignore it. Now, when I worked for Sandals in the early days, in the 80s, I started in 85. While there was not a national policy on harassment at the time, um, the company was very sensitive about the issue and actually had a policy which evolved into something very, very serious, you know. And I can assure you that I actually terminated a number of supervisors and managers who were guilty of um, harassing staff, almost putting a gun to their head for them to go to bed with them, or else they don't get to keep their position or whatever. Um, Eventually, in the probably late 90s or somewhere thereabout, um, or in the early 2000s, can't remember now. The law came into effect, and but it appears that a lot of entities, because I've gotten reports about restaurants in Montego Bay, some of them high profile restaurants, clubs in Montego Bay, some of them high profile clubs, and lots of hotels where discrimination, sexual harassment is widespread and nothing is being done about it. So Ministry of Labor, you need to start doing some more work in this area because it is terrible. This young lady called me. She used to work for me years ago as a trainee when I was at Sandals. And she left and worked for different places, different hotel groups, and so on. But several times, several hotels, small hotels, medium, large hotels, are have been guilty, or their senior people have been guilty of practicing discrimination if you don't play, if you don't accede to their requests for bedroom favors. No, that is wrong. That is wrong. A person is supposed to be able to go to work, to their work, and if they do the work properly, they get to keep their job, right? If they implicate themselves in any way, they get the punishment that they deserve. But certainly, they're supposed to be able to work without any pressure, especially what I'm going to call bedroom pressure, right? I'm not calling any of the hotels or the restaurants or the clubs at this moment, but I'm going to send it out as widely as possible and give these persons a chance. In a particular case, I'm actually going to call the hotel management because it is very, very bad. In the meantime, folks, I am prepared to help. My little company is prepared to help. Peterkin Tourism Group. If you have any serious complaints at the moment, you've gone to HR department that they've done nothing about it, you can send an email to peterkin.horace@gmail.com. peterkin.horace@gmail.com, right? And we will start the process of contacting management and also the labor department because this nonsense has to stop. Thank you.